What's going on, YouTube? Welcome back to the channel. I have a special guest coming onto the channel to share some information with you guys. Typically, I don't bring anyone onto the channel, but after hearing Eric's story, it just made sense to bring him on. In this video, I'm going to be asking Eric questions about his side hustle, how to get started, how long do it take to start making money, and all the other questions that I know you guys will want to know too. The big reason why I decided to bring Eric on because I know that he really does this business. And from talking to him and having a conversation with him, I could definitely tell that he knows what he's talking about, and I could tell that he has experience. And make sure you guys stick around to the end because a lot of information will be given out in this video. If you guys want to know some more about this business, make sure you head over to Eric's channel, and I will leave the link in my description. Eric have a ton of videos on this business. Welcome, Eric. Can you tell us some more about your side hustle and what exactly do you do?
My name's Eric. I run a YouTube channel called Easy Entrepreneur, and I teach people how to flip diabetic supplies.
So what exactly are test strips?
Diabetics, people with diabetes, they have to monitor their blood sugar. They use a meter, they use needles, and they use test strips, right? The test strips is where the blood will drip on, and then this test strip will go inside the meter, and the meter will read the blood sugar. How the blood comes out your finger. Within this meter, there's a device called a lancet device. It's like this little tube that you press, and the needle will pop out and it will prick you in the finger. And then you put the blood onto the test strip, and the test strip's already inside the meter, right? Because you put the test strip in the meter, and then the blood, the meter will read the blood.
That's an interesting business. Not too much people talk about this. How did you get started into this business? How did you find out about it?
Scouring the internet, YouTube, trying out different business models. And I came across the business model from someone doing the business on YouTube. And they offered a course. I bought the course, and I just took the business to the moon.
You mentioned that when you started the business, you started getting phone calls. So for someone that's new in the business, how can they start, marketing? What kind of marketing do you do, and how can you start getting phone calls?
There's 30 million diabetics in the country. 1 out of 10 people have diabetes, which a lot of people don't know. Obviously, the common person is not going to know that, 1 out of 10 people have diabetes. So it's very easy to find people who have these supplies, right? So, word of mouth, possibly making a Facebook post, right? Instagram post, hey, I buy diabetic supplies, because one of your friends or a family member or one of their friends are going to say, oh, yeah, we're diabetic, and, we're not using the supplies. People are probably wondering, why would people want to sell their diabetic supplies, right? Shouldn't they be using them? Well, the biggest common thing across the nation with everyone with diabetes, whether you're rich, whether you're poor, middle class, they don't like pricking themselves, right? It's kind of uncomfortable, right? So they don't like really pricking themselves all the time. Mind you, they feel sometimes that they have their blood sugar under, they've been monitoring their blood sugar pretty well. So if the doctor prescribed them enough test strips to test themselves 3 times a day, sometimes they're like, I don't need to do it 3 times a day. I just need to do it once a day, or maybe 3 times a week. So if the doctor gave me 5 boxes, I'm not even using those boxes. So what happens is these diabetics, they're getting tons of these supplies, and they just have them in the house, just collecting dust. The whole time they don't know that these things are worth gold. One of the common other ways that we market is a lot of outbound marketing, putting out banner signs, flyers, door knockers, car magnets, mailers, anything that you're seeing regular businesses do as far as marketing, we do the same thing. But the difference is our response rate is through the roof, because 1 out of 10 people have diabetes. They all are getting an excess of this stuff, and they want to sell it. So, anything that you're seeing that people are doing for marketing, we do the same thing, and the phone just blows up, right? So those are some of the ways to market. And obviously there's other creative ways to possibly market, right? There's huge diabetic groups and platforms out there. There's nursing homes and, group homes and stuff like that, where you can possibly get in there and let people know what we do, right? Because people do need the money, and it's not like we're stopping them from using it. All my customers, they all were not using it. And then they saw my marketing and they said, oh, let me sell it, right? Because it was just sitting here. You know what I mean? And sometimes people get the wrong idea and think that we can be kind of predatorial. Oh, these people need it. You're just buying this stuff from them, and they need it, and they're only selling it to you because they need the money. When, from my experience with my customers, like they'll get 4 or 5 boxes. They're like, yeah, I'm not selling all of this. I need to at least hold on to one. You know what I mean? And that's fine with that. I'm fine with that. Obviously, I don't even really want you to sell it. If you want to sell it, I'm there. But if you need it, obviously use it. And it's not illegal. So that's the big thing. That's probably the question everyone's thinking. It's not illegal because the diabetic supplies, they're testing supplies. They're not medicine. You know what I'm saying? And they're over the counter. They're considered over the counter. So you can go into a store, CVS, Walgreens, and stuff like that, and you can buy that stuff without a prescription. You know what I mean? So it's totally legal. This business been operating since like 2012, right? There's companies out here that's been doing this business forever.
So if I understand this correctly, you're buying these medical test strips and then you're selling it. Who are you selling it to? Who is like a potential customer?
Good question. So we're not selling to an end user, right? We're selling to national distributors, um, basically companies who sell to pharmacies and sell to national distributors who have contracts with pharmacies all across the country to put this stuff back on the shelf. So how I know how much I'm buying it from a seller. So that's how we call it, seller buyer. We say in this business, the people we sell to, we call them buyers, and then the people we buy from, we call them sellers. So these buyers, when you have these buyers contacts, they give you a price sheet, right, of all the different diabetic test strip brands, right, and it has the price that they'll pay, and obviously you go to the seller and you negotiate a price under that so you can make a profit, right? And these buyers will buy this stuff from you by the bulk, right? I'm sending out $500 to $2,000, $3,000 invoices out to my buyer every day, every 2 days. You know what I mean? And a part of that is profit, and part of it is obviously what I pay for the supplies. So for example, right, this One Touch Ultra, right? Right now, this supply is being bought from our buyers about $65. I'm going to offer the seller, somewhere between $20 to $40, right? And then that's my profit in between because I know my buyer is buying this at 65. That's what they state on their price sheet. Similar to phone flipping. If anyone watching this has done phone flipping, same deal. Buy low, sell high.
So basically, you're kind of acting as the middleman where you're finding these sellers and then you're reselling it to the buyers. So how did you go about finding your first buyer? And do you have a buyer's list where you just, send out an email or you just call them up to get those sold?
Right. So to find buyers, we don't necessarily go out and look for buyers. To find buyers, you have to deal with someone who's in the business like me, or you guys watching this, you guys probably go on YouTube and you guys will see other people doing this business. This list gets handed down to us. So like when I bought a course, it got handed down to me. And then obviously throughout the years, I've met other other buyers that I didn't get from that particular course. But that happens for everyone that eventually gets in the business, and you got your first 4 or 5 buyers that was handed down to you. And then when you get those buyers handed down to you, there's no calling them and acting like this big player in the game. No, it's once you get the contact, it's a matter of, hey, how you doing? I'm in the test strip business. Can I get your list? You know what I mean? They'll give you the list. On their list, have all their criterias and how they do business and their payment situation and all of that stuff, shipping info, this, that, and the third. And then now you're good to go. You go out there, do your marketing, seller calls you, hey, I have this supply. How much do you pay? You go and look at your buyer sheet. Okay, this person has One Touch Ultra. Okay, my buyer John, he's buying One Touch Ultra at 65. And then let me look at my other buyers. Okay, buyer, Peg, she's buying this at 70. and buyer Sam, he's buying it at 60. Okay, if I buy this, I'm gonna sell to the highest buyer, so be peg. So now I know that I'm selling at 70. I could offer the seller, offer the seller 40. I could offer the seller 50. You know what I mean? You're gonna know, you obviously know how much you're gonna make. Going into a sale, you already know how much you're gonna make because the buyer's price is not changing. It'll get updated every month. The prices fluctuate here and there, but what's on that price sheet for that month, that's the price.
Okay, so for somebody just, new to this business, how much can they expect to make during their first month?
$500 to $2,000. That's on average. That's how great the business is. On average, everyone getting in this business, first of all, on average, every single person getting in this business makes money. Literally everyone. There's not one person, whether they stop doing the business or whatever, can't say that they didn't see any activity. You know what I mean? These supplies are out there. People want to sell them. But yeah, 500 to 2,000. And that's all going to depend on, how hard are you hitting the marketing, right? You go out there for a whole month and go and crush it and do as much marketing as humanly possible. Yeah, you're definitely gonna you're definitely gonna hit 2,000, 3,000 profit. You do the bare minimum, you probably see 500 to 1,000 at the end of the month. But you can get lucky. You could do the bare minimum and hit a home run and make 2,000 in your first month from just doing the bare minimum, because the crazy thing with this business is that all the diabetics are all getting a different amount of supplies, and they're all getting different supplies, right? So they're getting test strips, they're getting Metatronics, they're getting Dexcom sensors, right? Some of this stuff is super expensive, and some of this stuff they're getting 4, 5, 6, 7 boxes. So you can mess around and do you could put an ad out there on Craigslist, one ad, and someone could just, that first call could be a guy saying, "Hey, I have 40 boxes. How much do you pay?" Right? You mess around and you mess around can make $30, $40 off of each box, right? And right there, you're already at $1,000 profit, and you just started. You didn't even do anything. You just did one ad. So you'll have home run plays like that. So it's weird like that, but yeah, 500 to 2,000 profit.
Do these medical test strip expired, or they could just be sitting around the house for like a year?
Yep, they expired. That's why they're worth gold, right? Because their expiration, they're all majority are all dated out from the time you get it from the time you get your prescription, they're dated out expiration a year and a half, 2 years. So basically everything that I'm getting from my customers right now, their expiration dates are like 2024, September, October. That's the expiration date. We're not buying anything expired though, and we're not buying anything 10 plus months under. So for example, my customers, new customers who contact me, say, "Hey, I got these supplies." I'm like, "Okay, what's the expiration date?" They're like, "Yeah, it expires September 2023. I'm like, "I can't buy that." Right? We call that, in this business, we call that short dated. Now, we do have buyers who do buy some of that stuff, right? That's a little short dated, meaning that it's going to expire in a few months. They're just buying it at a lesser price. But for the most part, industry standard, 10 plus months out. So you always want to buy everything that's going to expire 10 plus months out. So 10 plus months right now from today is February, I believe. Yeah, February. Anything February 2024 and further is all good to go.
And you mentioned your customers. Do you have customers that you work with like every month?
Yep. So that's the beauty of the business. We're not scratching and looking for new customers every month to survive in this business. When a customer first comes into your business and they sell to you, they're going to become a repeat customer, meaning that they're going to sell you these supplies every month now because they're getting a prescription every month. So they're going to sell to you every month. So now your goal is to try to get as many customers as possible in the lifetime of you doing this business, because the more repeat customers you have, the more money you'll make every month. That's why I'm doing 10,000, 11,000, 12,000 profit a month, because I have that much repeat customers coming in my business. On top of that, new customers, but 80% of profits is coming from repeat customers, right? You know, hey, Eric, got my supplies. When can you come? This, that, and the third. It could be a text message. It'd be a real quick phone call, you know, and go over there, buy the supplies from them. A lot of these people you build relationships with, right? Because they feel comfortable selling to you, and they're literally seeing you every month.
So I was going to ask, do you have customers in a different city or state, or most of your customers are basically in your city that you could see physically or meet up with to pick up the boxes?
Yeah, I have customers across the country, and I have customers locally. And to do that, it's just a matter of just different marketing. I mean, common sense, right? If my customers are local, then that's me doing marketing locally, right? Outbound marketing, banner flyers, whatever, door knockers, car magnets. If my customers are in a different state, then that means that I'm doing a lot of online marketing, right? I'm marketing all across the country, and people are contacting me from Facebook and social media sites and Google and all of that stuff, and they're willing to send the supplies to you, right? So my local people, you're going to pick those stuff up, whether it's you personally or you got a driver that's going to get it for you. Your national customers from different states, they're shipping it to you, and then you pay on arrival. You wouldn't pay them up front, right? Because obviously these supplies could be damaged, right? The box can be dinged, damaged, and then you get it and you already paid the customer, you know, and you don't buy dinged and damaged stuff, no matter even if they told you it wasn't. So that's why you wait, you know. And it's customers that mail to you, they know the game, they know that's how it works. So they're willing to mail it to you first. And then when you receive it, right, you shoot them the text message, hey, got your supplies, everything looks good. You know, how do you want to be paid? They're good with that. You know what I mean? And if it is damaged, or if it's not what they say it is, you just send it back. You know what I mean? You probably pay you know, $2, $3, $4, $5 to send it back. You can have some stipulations though within, you know, your process, where you're like, hey, listen, you said it looks like this, it looks like that. You send it and it's damaged, I'm not sending it back, because now, right, we didn't make any money. We're going to be in the hole now, because we can't buy your supplies because they're damaged, and then you want it back. So we got to pay another $5, $6, $7 to ship it back to you. So, you know, a lot of companies do that. They're like, hey, listen, anything sent to us, we're not sending it back if it's damaged.
Is this something you could do part-time and still make money, or do you have to like be, you know, all committed full-time to make money in this business?
I'm one of the few that's full-time. 80% of people are part-time, which is dope about the business, because you look at it like, okay, I'm making money at work, right? Or I got another business I'm making money, and I can invest a little bit of part-time energy into this and make an extra 2,000, 3,000 a month. Like that money can go a long way, right? You could buy a house, buy a car within a year. You know what I mean? You could, you know, you could start spending more on your expenses. You can take trips, all because the time invested in this is very, very, very small, very small. So you don't got to go full time. I go full time because I wanted to be an entrepreneur. This is the first thing that I really had some success with. So I wanted to take it all the way. But 80% of people in this industry that's doing it like me, they're a lot of them are part time.
So can you walk us through the process of getting started from, you know, being contacted from a seller and then eventually selling it to a buyer?
Right. So initially, you know, you want to have your buyers list, right? You want to have your few buyers, you know, and so you know that, all right, this is what they're buying, right? They're buying 50 to 100 different diabetic supplies. So you got that, you're ready to go. Do your marketing, put your marketing out there. People call you, answer the phone. Hey, what's going on? Yeah, we buy diabetic supplies. What do you have? They're like, I got this down the third. Okay, look at your buyer's price sheet. Okay, we could pay this much. Are you good with that? Yeah, sure. So if it's locally, you're like, okay, where can we meet at? You can meet these people at their house. You can meet them in a public area, whatever's comfortable for you. If this is someone national, you know, create a shipping label, email them the shipping label, they'll box it up and send it to you, whatever. But say it's local. So local, make sure you get your money, bring some money, go to the bank, go get yourself some 5, 10s, ones, you know what I mean? Just so you have some extra money just in case, you know what I mean? The seller might have extra supplies when you get there. But yep, you get there, they show you their supplies, you take a look at them, make sure they're not damaged, they don't have any rips or tears, and they're not expired, they're the dates that you need it, then you give them the money. Boom, you got your supplies, come home, now you're ready to sell it to the buyer. You could sell your supplies to the buyer every day, but majority of us wait like every 2-3 days, every 4 days. Some people wait every 2 weeks to build up a bunch of supplies to do it all at once. But say in this example, we're going to sell to the buyer right away. So all we're doing is just finding a buyer. We're creating an invoice, and on the invoice is going to have, what supplies we have, how much does the buyer pay for each supply, and then what's the total that the buyer owes me, right? Then I'm going to pack these supplies up. I'm going to pack them up really neatly and secure, because if it gets damaged in the mail, it's on us, right? It's not on the buyer. So I'm going to pack that stuff up, put that invoice in the box, ship it out to the buyer. Buyer will contact me in like 2-3 days. Hey, got your supplies. They'll just text. They won't even call. Just text. Hey, got your supplies. Everything looks good. How you want to be paid? Cash App, Venmo, Zelle, bank wire. You want a check cut, whatever. And there you go.
And do you need like an LLC to do this business, or do you need some type of, training certification or anything to get started in this business?
Good question. No, you don't. And a lot of times I don't recommend people get an LLC right out the rip, right? Get 1 or 2 invoices fulfilled, get it under your belt, and then look into LLC. But no, you don't need certifications. You don't need any of that. Just you obviously want an LLC at some point, because now you're making money as an entrepreneur. So like any other business, you want that money to start flowing through your LLC, but no, it's not required at all.
How much money would you say someone needs to get started in this business?
$200 to $500. You got 2 ways you could do it. You could start off marketing locally, because this business is all marketing. First of all, there's no convincing these sellers to sell to us. So this is just all marketing. So when you look at it like that, if you're going to do marketing locally, flyers, banner signs, all that stuff like that, stuff is cheap. You know what I mean? You're looking at 10 cents, 50 cents a marketing piece. You just get that stuff out. So, and then you just need money to buy the supplies. Say you have only $100 left to buy the supplies. If someone calls you and you buy their supplies, you have no more money left, just send the supplies up to the buyer to get paid 2-3 days later, and then take that money, the profits, and reinvest. You can go and borrow money from people, because at the end of the day, it's a done deal. What you see on that price sheet, that's what the buyer's paying. So you can go and tell a family friend, hey, let me borrow $500, right? I'm definitely gonna pay you, next week, and you'll definitely be good. And especially like learning from me, like I hold people's hand in this business, right? I mentor people closely, so I'm someone that, as a student, you come with me. I'm like, you could say, hey, Eric, I borrowed money from someone, is the buyer actually buying these? Do I have the right, am I looking at the right supplies right now that's on the buyer's price sheet? And, I can confirm with you, like, yeah, you're definitely good.
What type of experience do you think people will need to get started in this business?
I guess some type of people skills, being open to talking to people and dealing with people, even though you don't have to deal with them too long, but you're dealing with people. People are going to be calling you. Those conversations are only like 30 seconds to a minute, but these are people you're going to be talking to every month, and there's going to be a lot of people calling you. And, so just kind of being a people person, I guess. And that's it. A 15-year-old could do this business. This thing is super easy. These people that sell to us, they don't care who they're selling to. They just want the money, right? So, yeah, there's really not much skill needed at all. But I would say I've had people do business with me that don't want to do business with the competition anymore, just because I guess they liked me better as far as like when they talk to me, and, I guess I'm a little bit more personable.
Let's say I got started in this business today. How long do you think it'll take for me to start actually making some profits in this business?
It can happen overnight, right? So you want to break it down like this: marketing. So if you was to do outbound marketing, banner signs, flyers, all of that stuff, you go and do that, and one night, the next day you'll get calls. And when you get calls in this business, that's money on the line, right? So we don't miss no calls in my business because everyone that's calling, they have the supplies, and we're gonna make money. Now, if you don't want to go that route and you want to go the online route and, you know, do Facebook stuff and all of that stuff, these suppliers are on there. You know, it's gonna take some time. It could happen overnight. I've had students who use some of my strategies online and literally got responses in an hour and made their first sale. So, you know, that stuff works extremely fast as well. You know, so yeah, this stuff can happen overnight for you. And obviously you have some scenarios where some people, you know, it's taking them a little while, maybe like a week, right? But it's very rare that you won't hear anything from somebody and within 2-3 days. It's very, very, very rare. You know, there's usually something you did wrong, right? Where like no one even sees your marketing. You know what I'm saying? Like, what did you do? Let me see what you did. Oh, yeah, I couldn't read that. Could you read that? Oh, yeah, I don't really understand. I really couldn't read it either. I'm like, yeah, there you go. Then they do it all over again. They do it the right way. Then they're like, oh, yeah, I'm getting calls now, right?
And would you say this business have a lot of competition? Is it saturated, or is this business more so a business where not a lot of people really know about it?
Yeah, not a lot of people know about it. Not a lot of people know about it at all. It's wide open, you know, 30 million diabetics. So it's just there's just extremely a large amount of money out there in this business. But as far as city to city, you're looking at like one, you're looking at like 1 to 4 people a city probably doing it, you know, on average. Some cities there's going to be only one person. Some cities is going to be 2 or 3. Some of our really, really extremely large cities, you know, might have 8 people, but we're talking about cities as big as New York and Chicago, right? Like, you know, those are really big cities. And the competition in this business, remember I told you, 80% of people in this business are part-time.
Yeah.
So they're going about it part-time. You know what I mean? They're not hitting this thing as hard as they can. So there really ain't no competition, really. You can jump in and just take over the whole city, you know what I mean, in 2-3 months.
Thank you for taking your time out of your day to share this information with my audience. I'm sure they'll like this information and excited to get started. Let's say somebody wanted to learn some more about this business. Do you offer training, and how can they get in contact with you to ask you questions?
I do have a course, video modules, downloaded resources, and all of that in my course. And I also personally mentor you as well. So you will have my personal number. I will hold your hand through the entirety of you running a business. You guys can get in contact with me at 617-849-9542, or you can go to my YouTube channel, Easy Entrepreneur, or you can just YouTube diabetic supplies or flip diabetic test strips or medical commodities. You'll see me there, a bunch of videos. And my course link will be within the description of all my videos, or you can just text me and I could shoot you my course link or answer any questions that you guys have.